Hey guys, four teams have advanced to the Elite Eight. We'll get four more on Friday. The biggest and most noteworthy one is Duke. Duke wins 100-93 in the Sweet 16 over Arizona. I mean, look, I picked Florida. Kind of it was the trendy hot pick, and I wasn't really sure about Duke and Cooper Flagg. Duke is just, I mean, if they're playing the way that they've been playing through this tournament so far, they're the best team. They just have so much length, they have so much versatility, and Cooper Flagg is just that dude. Um, if you want to look for a future face who's going to potentially take the baton from LeBron James as the best American-born player in the sport, it's Cooper Flagg. This guy is that dude. He went out and did something that hasn't been done in the NCAA tournament since Dwayne Wade did it in the Elite Eight 22 years ago at Marquette. Cooper Flagg went for he went for 30 in this game. So he's the first player since Dwayne Wade 22 years ago with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3+ blocks. It's unbelievable what this guy was able to do. He went for 37 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and also had a steal. 9 of 19 shooting, hit 3 threes, played 37 minutes. This guy, mind you, this guy a couple weeks ago sprained his ankle, what seemingly was significant, turned his ankle, and it looked like he may not play. This guy is just a different breed. And I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of him because let's get real, a lot of us don't really pay a ton of locked in attention to college basketball until about mid to late February after football season is really fully done with the Super Bowl and everything. And I've caught a couple of highlights of him, but the last several weeks I've had a chance to sit down and actually watch his games. And what I saw in Newark on Thursday night against a really good Arizona team, a really talented Arizona team that had a really good performance from Caleb Love. Like what I saw was just unbelievable. And this Duke team was already really good. They ran through the ACC tournament. They had the one scare against North Carolina where they almost blew like a 17-point lead, but they ran through the tournament. They've got Malawach and Knipple and they and Tyrese Proctor. Like they've got dudes all over the place. This is a deep and talented team with a lot of dudes who can score and who can defend. And Cooper Flagg wasn't even there, and they still they really ran through that tournament even when Cooper Flagg got injured. So um to see what they are now and how they've been able to just steamroll people. Really, they've steamrolled people the entire season with him. This is a frightening thing that's going on right now, and Duke could win the national title. And it's really kind of interesting because Cooper Flagg playing for a universally if you're not a Duke fan, you really don't like Duke. It's kind of like the Yankees. Um, it's weird because I kind of am sort of rooting for Duke because I mean this kid is just so much fun to watch, and I think we're watching the next prodigy, and we had heard stories about this guy for weeks and years on end. And he went to the Vegas camp with the training camp over the summer with Team USA and wowed those guys. And you can just see it. You can just see his talent, and you can just see how gifted he is. And this Duke team is already like a national championship level team with him being the best player in the sport. I This takes them to a whole nother level, and it's going to take something special to beat this team. Alabama is that kind of team. They're not going to hit 25 threes like they did against BYU and score 113 points, but Alabama's been there. They were in this spot a year ago. They beat an ACC team to get to this spot. They beat North Carolina last year. They actually beat two ACC teams on their road to the Final Four last year. Um, and they've got a bunch of dudes. They're a great coach. Like I said, they've been to this. They've got the experience edge really over Duke. There's some guys on Duke who were in the Elite Eight last year, but not Cooper Flagg hasn't really been there. But again, the great equalizer, especially in a tournament like this, and we haven't seen it really to this degree because LeBron is probably I mean, maybe Carmelo Anthony as a freshman, and I've heard a lot of comparisons to that. That's probably the last time, and that was the same year that Dwayne Wade did that, had that stat line that I mentioned off the top here. Um, that's how special we're looking at, and with LeBron nearing the end of his career, seemingly, it feels like they're ready to pass the baton, the NBA, and they need a guy, so it's going to be really interesting to see where he ends up, see how far he takes this Duke team, because again, Carmelo Anthony as a freshman was really the last time you saw somebody impact a team this much, and that Syracuse team 22 years ago won the national title. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But I'm just so impressed with this Duke team. I'm so impressed with their coach John Shire, who is a great player in his own right, and he's just taken the baton from Coach K. And Duke is weirdly likable. Like it's not, there's not a Grayson Allen I mean, people hated JJ Redick, and JJ Redick was a good player. Like people just people hated Christian Leitner. Like Cooper Flagg is not that. He's like the antithesis of what we've grown to hate about Duke. So I can't wait to see this game on Saturday night. It's going to be a fascinating matchup with Alabama. But to me right now, even though I picked Florida to win the championship, and Florida and Duke would be an unbelievable matchup. I think this Duke team is just the best team in college basketball, because what they can do offensively and defensively, and they've got the best player in the country. So it's just hard for me to see you know somebody beating them right now. So we'll see. Alabama comes up with a performance like they did against BYU, maybe it happens, but a really awesome performance from the Blue Devils, and we'll see what happens in the Elite Eight. Anyway, 4 more games coming on Friday. We'll have a lot more reaction to that, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.